Good evening, Otherworldlies. This is Queen Juliana, your dark mask diva. Alright, so I don't know if you like to watch those scammer shows about different people who meet catfish, and these catfish bilk them out of thousands, millions of dollars. And you're wondering, how do these things even happen? You're just like, what is this? Okay, and I've been watching a lot of those shows, and I've been talking to a lot of people who get online and they meet a lot of these people who, attempt to get to their money. And I watch a lot of shows where it's fascinating, the phenomenon of these people who get talked out of their money. And there are a lot of common things the scammers do. They look for certain types of people. Okay? And they say certain types of things. Now, I'm going to be kind of funny here, and I'm going to talk about why the scammers wouldn't get very far with me. Now, it's funny because you talk to different people who the scammers try to talk to, and like my friends will get annoyed, like, this person hit me up on TikTok or Facebook, and they said some weird stuff to me, and you're like what? And I guess some scammer was talking to a friend of mine on TikTok, and the scammer gets on there and just asks her a series of questions, and she said the questions didn't really make sense, but they were just familiar sounding questions, but they didn't make sense. But one of the questions, and I found out this is a popular scammer question, but the question is, have you eaten today? Have you eaten today? That's a scammer question. And what I think is funny about that is already I would probably block someone if they said something like that to me, and I'll tell you why. I've had some horrible experiences with covert feeders. If you guys don't know what a covert feeder is, that's somebody who is systematically trying to fatten you up without your permission. Okay, so that person is trying to make you fat. They're trying to give you food and make you fat, and you don't want to be fat. So they're trying to fatten you up without you noticing. And, by the time you notice that you're fat, it's too late. You're already fat. So they're basically trying to fatten you up because they want you fat, and you don't want to be fat. So that's a covert feeder. There are, they have some kind of feederism fetish, or basically, in my case, the people who were doing it to me were trying to sabotage me. So, and these are people I was in relationships with. So they were trying to basically fatten me up to sabotage me. So if somebody I was talking to would ask me if I've eaten today, that would just set off a red flag, because I would automatically think they were a covert feeder. It wouldn't even cross my mind that they were a scammer. I would just be like, why are they asking me if I've eaten today? And I would just be paranoid that they were a covert feeder. So that would make me block them right there, just for asking me if I've eaten today. If people inquire about my dietary habits, that's just a total red flag. So I don't know what it is about the scammers and why they've asked if you've eaten today. I don't know if that's a custom in their country. I don't know what the have you eaten today means to the scammers, but that is something apparently they do ask a lot. Another thing they do is the romance scammers will when they're sweet talking you, they will call you their queen. Now, that really wouldn't work with me because people already call me queen. That's already my nickname. So I'd be like, well, how do you know my nickname? My nickname is Queen Juliana. So that kind of sweet talk wouldn't work with me because that's already my nickname. I'd be like, yeah, that's, like, how'd you know that was my name? So it wouldn't really be any kind of term of endearment. Atalon calls me his queen because I am his queen. But if some person on the internet was calling me that, it really wouldn't mean anything to me because it's a nickname of mine already. So apparently these scammers, that's their favorite thing to call their victims. They call them queen. That's one of their things. Another one is they like to say babe. I hate the word babe. That might make me block somebody. Just because I don't want to read or hear babe. I think that's probably like the most generic nickname there is. That would just annoy me. So, I mean, that would turn me off. I wouldn't talk to somebody who was calling me babe. The thing about these scammers is, how can I say this? They target people who are not very attractive. Alright, what they do is they steal somebody's picture. They go on, say, like Instagram or Facebook or somewhere, and they find a photograph of somebody who's very attractive, and then they target somebody who's unattractive. And they say to the unattractive person, "You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen." Alright. And the unattractive person believes the compliment. Alright. People say things to me like, "You've got the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen." Now, I do have really nice eyes. My eyes are similar to Liz Taylor's, okay? I have really beautiful eyes. But even when people say things like that to me, I still don't believe them. I do not become flattered by things like that, even though my eyes are really beautiful. But people have been saying stuff like that to me since I was 18 years old. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. Because that kind of flattery is silly. Alright? But these scammers say it to these people who have probably never been given a compliment before. And these people believe these compliments. These unattractive people believe the compliments. Okay? They believe compliments like, "You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen," when they're not attractive at all. Okay. Pretty soon these people are asking for money. And they give them money. So I really think this is part of how it works. Now, the thing about me is you can't get money out of me. You just can't. You can give me a compliment, I'll say thank you, and I will appreciate the compliment. If you give me an over-the-top compliment, I won't believe you. You can tell me I'm a pretty woman. I'll believe that. But if you give me an over-the-top compliment, I'm just gonna be like, But these unattractive people believe over-the-top compliments, and pretty soon they're emptying their wallet. They're getting rid of their 401k and giving it to these people. They're selling their homes. They're leaving their spouses. All right. These people are having emotional affairs. They're sending nudes. They're giving all their money away. They're talking dirty. They are not even FaceTiming with these people. They have zero proof this person they're talking to is the same person as the person in the photograph. It's just they're craving the validation. Every time the person who they think is that person in the photograph is telling them they love them, or giving them a compliment, or calling them babe, or something like that, it gives them a dopamine hit. This is even stronger than people who are simply addicted to social media. Now, a lot of people nowadays are addicted to social media. We have to constantly see who liked our posts, who like what we wrote. I always want to see who liked my videos, so please like my video. I want to see who liked my selfies. I want to see who liked whatever I wrote. I want to see who likes what I'm doing. It gives me a good feeling every time someone likes what I'm doing. And it's natural to get a dopamine hit every time someone likes what you're doing online. Every time someone likes one of my memes and says something positive. Dopamine rush. Okay, these people must be getting one heck of a dopamine rush to keep paying these people for validation. They must have received no feelings of validation at all, because they're basically paying these people for validation. These people that don't even exist. What these people do is they create false scenarios. These catfish create false scenarios that these victims can bail them out of. They pretend to be in jail. They pretend to be detained at the airport. They pretend to be injured. They pretend that something was damaged. They can't pay their workers. They pretend to have a sick child. They pretend to be separated from their child and a nanny is watching their child. They always have some story like that that makes them look like a hero and makes you feel sorry for them. And the victim always feels like they're doing something for their true love by giving them money. And they probably get a dopamine hit from doing that too. But they never stop to think, why does this extremely rich person need my money? Why is this attractive person seeking me out? And they could be seeking someone else out who's more of their caliber. You know, they're being very naive about it. And I've seen the conversations that these catfish have, and they're all really generic. I mean, you know, I've read a lot of the texts. None of it's really, there's not a lot of substance. Hi, how are you doing today? I find you very attractive. Stuff like that. I mean, it's not exactly poetic. They're not having the deepest conversations. They're not saying anything that's really, you know, reaching anybody on a soul level. It's just ridiculous stuff. It's nothing really deep. It's nothing really, you know, I think I'm falling in love with you. It's nothing, you know, intellectually probing. It's nothing really, it's just nothing of substance. And these people are falling in love with shallow words that basically mean nothing, that anybody could say. It's a bunch of nonsense. And it's like they're all reading from the same handbook. So they also prey on people who like to help other people. And maybe easily have acquired their money. So they may easily part with it. Lonely people. But these people are really saying nothing special to them. And that's the sad part. I mean, truly nothing poetic is being said. And I'm just reading all these things. You know, I've been watching different exposés on it, and these people say the same things over and over. And it's all stuff I would find really freaking annoying. Stuff I would just get irritated by, that would just insult me intellectually. Be like, ugh. I mean, if people said it to me, I would just get extremely irritated. Because I mean, I just don't believe nonsense. So I hope that you never feel so lonely that you believe lies that people tell you. And that you love yourself. And you don't believe hustles that people run on you. And watch who you talk to online. Because these people are saying the same thing to everybody. And I think it's real obvious. And trust me, I don't know everything. Far from it. I just can't believe how easily these people are duped. And I'm like, I wish I had that much money. I can't believe that they had that much money to throw away on some phony person pretending to be somebody else. That's what I can't get over. You had that much money to make that big of a mistake? That is incredible. Yeah. The whole thing was just irritating. But it's irritating and it's sad. But I hope you are never lonely enough to get catfished by somebody. And I hope you have a beautiful evening. And I will see you in the next content. Bye-bye.